Don't worry, Fat Pikachu. Someday you'll be bigger than Queso. Oh, Jesus! You scared me. Well, let's not worry about what's back here, alright? But welcome back to the channel and the Ranking Every Map series. Last video we went through and ranked every single World at War Zombies map. You can find that video in one of these corners. I think you can figure out which one. But today we'll be looking at all the Black Ops 1 maps, not including the remakes. I'll explain why when we get to it. So without further ado...
So let's just jump into it.
Kino's reputation truly precedes it, because to the casual player, this is one of the best, if not the best map to have ever been made. But if it comes from a casual COD player, you gotta take their opinion with a grain of salt, because they also bought these abominations. So is the map still good? Well, the short answer is yes, and the long answer is also yes. Just like the World at War maps, there isn't a whole lot to talk about with this one, and that is because originally it was meant to be a World at War map. The downside of that is that the map finds itself in this weird limbo of sorts, where it plays like a World at War map, but not really feeling like one, for better and for worse. Kino is way more polished than any map that came before it, but because it is a Black Ops 1 map, all the normal guns feel significantly weaker than before. With the one exception,
when there is rain, there's
thunder. There are no words to describe what it is like to use the thunder gun, unless you're Evan, in which case you didn't get to use it before you died. Now it is a little unfortunate that there is no side quest or main Easter egg for that fact to do on this map other than the film reels, but I'm willing to look past that since everything else just works great on this map. Kino is timeless and deserves this 8 out of 10 and A tier placement. Now this is going to be my first of many hot takes, but I really like 5. Yes, this map is harder than any map that came before it. Yes, the training areas are really cramped, and yes, I shoot the pig every time. Before I go into detail on this map, I just gotta say that if Kino did launch on World at War and not with Black Ops 1, I really don't think zombies would have lasted as long as it did. I'm pretty sure it would have died with this game. That isn't me saying that 5 is a bad map, but from looking at threads online, people really don't like it when zombies is hard. This point will become more relevant later as well. Now 5 is technically smaller than Kino, but due to the layout, it feels large despite the tiny corridors. It also helps tremendously that each area has teleporters to seamlessly travel from one area to another. Something that isn't mentioned a lot but is pretty cool is the fact that 5 has buildable traps. Now the traps are not in the best spots, not even in the slightest, but it's still cool nonetheless. Now the main feature about this map that leaves the player base divided is the Pentagon Thief, also known as Yuri. So to those of you who haven't played this map before, instead of having a normal dog round, this map has the thief spawn in as the only enemy, and he will chase you down and steal your weapon that you're holding. In order to get this weapon back, you must kill the thief and he will drop your gun and a max ammo. But it doesn't end there. If you're able to kill him before he steals your weapon, he will drop a fire sale. And if you kill him before he steals a single gun, he'll drop a bonfire sale instead of a fire sale, which is a discounted pack-a-punch. I don't blame you if you have no idea what the hell a bonfire sale was, because it only naturally appears on this map. Yeah, you heard me. Not a single other map in all of COD Zombies has a bonfire sale power-up. It is possible to get it in Black Ops 4, but that is only with the use of elixirs, therefore not natural. If anyone says they don't like the Pentagon Thief, I will kindly ask you to stitch their lips together so they may never speak again. Unfortunately for this map though, the Wonder Weapon not only isn't as good as the Thunder Gun, but it is arguably one of the worst Wonder Weapons of all time. The Winter's Howl. Such a cool name for a weaker than shit gun. Its effect is pretty neat, but outside of being unique, it has no upsides to it. I need to move on before I start going on a rant, so I'm going to give 5 a 7 out of 10. It's pretty cool. With that being said, it is going into B tier. Ascension's alright. I don't really got a lot to say about this map other than the monkey round, bad. And, you know, the sickle is pretty neat. Ascension kind of falls in a weird gray area, just like Kino, where it doesn't quite feel like a Black Ops 1 map. Don't get me wrong, it has all the features and innovation of a Black Ops 1 map, but it just doesn't have that special something, you know. It doesn't have the sauce. There really isn't another way to explain it either, because it checks all the boxes on my arbitrary list, but something just doesn't sit right with me when I play it. It's like when you're following along with a recipe, but somehow you end up with a Krabby Patty instead of a milkshake. I guess I should actually talk about the map now. I'm going to blast through these points real quick, so make sure to pay attention. Alright, so the way Pack-a-Punch works on this map is the same way as Der Riese, where you go to the 3 locations and link it with a central spot. However, unlike Der Riese, there is a cool little side Easter egg you can do, where if you have an explosive weapon, you can actually blow up the rocket as it's taking off. This has absolutely no effect on anything, but it is cool nonetheless. This map also starts off in full black and white until power's turned on, which is a neat aesthetic choice, but other than offering a nice new way of looking at the map, it does absolutely nothing else. The aforementioned PhD also makes its first appearance on this map, and quickly became a beloved perk amongst the fans. Oh, and I'll mention this right now, but the Easter egg song for this map hits harder than P. Diddy. Let's see what else is there to mention. I guess this map also gave us the Gersh device, which is fun, I guess. Yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm sorry. Again, like I said, there isn't too much going on with this map. It's kind of hard to make points to talk about, so let's just get straight to the rankings and give this map a 6.5 out of 10 and a B tier. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. Call of the Dead is better than you remember. Okay, now, I'm the most biased person to say this next to Mr. T Forehead Lexify himself, but this map is almost flawless. The one major complaint that is levied against this map that I don't really have a defense for is that 90% of the time it's just a gray/white blob, which is perfectly legitimate complaint, and that is also the reason why I'm going to be showing footage of the Black Ops 3 custom map of Call of the Dead, which is a one-to-one faithful recreation of the map. Let's start off with all the negatives I can think of for this map. One of the wonder weapons for this map just sucks. One step to the Easter egg is pretty weird. And that's about it. Alright, let's move on to why this map is awesome. The cast. Oh my god. The cast. People often debate which crew is the best, but almost no one says it's this one. And let me tell you something. They are all wrong, because this is the best lineup we have ever received. We have Danny Trejo, which I shouldn't have to tell you about. Like, come on, it's Danny Trejo. Robert Englund, who is, for those who don't know, the Freddy Krueger. Michael Rooker, who is in everything, but most recently was Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy. Sarah Michael Gellar, aka Buffy the Damn Vampire Slayer. And most importantly, George A. Romero, who is the father of the zombie genre, and may he rest in peace. Speaking of George, let's talk about his role in this map, because he isn't a playable character. In fact, George is the boss zombie of the map. Mr. Father of Zombies over here is very unique because he poses a constant threat to the player. He has insanely high HP, can modify a zombie speed at will, spawns in at the beginning of the game and won't go away until he is killed, and if he is dealt any damage, he will go into an enraged state and start sprinting towards the player. Now, he isn't impossible to kill. Like I said, he just has a lot of HP, and the reward for killing him is a free perk as well as a death machine. But the devs wanted to give us an even better treat for taking him down. So if you can complete the Easter egg, whenever you kill George Romero, he will instead drop a Wonder Waffle power-up instead of a Death Machine power-up, which is just truly the icing on the cake. Now, if you were really paying attention, you would have noticed that I just said Easter egg. So let's go ahead and talk about that right now. But first, let me ask you, do you want to do the solo Easter egg or the co-op Easter egg? It's a trick question, because they are practically the same. The co-op Easter egg has like 2 extra steps, but they both end the exact same way. To start this Easter egg, just walk up to this big metal door and you'll start to hear some banter back and forth between the members of the original cast. Once they're done talking, knife the door and you'll be able to move on to the first step, which is collecting a fuse on the floor above you. Pretty easy. After putting the fuse in the panel, some security boxes will light up around the map and you need to blow them up with any explosive you have. Next is probably the worst step in this Easter egg, and that is because you can either brute force it or know the code beforehand. The only redeeming factor about this step is the fact that the combination is always the same, so you don't have to Google it every single time. The final step is to get the VR11 from the mystery box and use it on a zombie at the base of the lighthouse to get the magical golden adult play toy. That's it. This Easter egg is pretty simple and straightforward, only requiring a little RNG to get the VR11, but overall it really isn't that bad. Like I said earlier, the co-op Easter egg does have a few extra steps to it, and one of them you need to know Morse code for, so keep that in mind if you want to do an Easter egg run. All things considered, I would rate this Easter egg pretty highly since it's possible to do without the help of Google and or prior knowledge if you are patient. Lastly, I want to talk about why I love Tokyo so much, and it is because of this map. You see, after teleporting here, Tokyo ends up getting sick and throws up. I found that entirely way too relatable and made him my favorite character. Okay, no, seriously now, let's talk about traversal on this map since it's one of the biggest maps in all of zombies, and all I have to say is that it's really, really good. Shark made sure to put in plenty of zip lines and flingers to get you around the map since it is so big. It also helps first time players since trying to understand the map's layout at first can be a little confusing with all the important areas being so spread out, and the fact that each area has 3+ different paths leading to and from. Putting all of that together, I'm giving Call of the Dead my highest score yet of 9 out of 10 and an S tier placement. Shangri-La is a map. Alright, let's just address the elephant in the room. Yes, this map is pretty hard. I gave 5 a pass on its difficulty, but I'm not going to be as lenient for Shang. This map can be brutally difficult at times. The Wonder Weapon sucks, there isn't anywhere to train. In fact, this map actively discourages training. Not to mention there are 2 special zombies, which although not hard to take down, are just the icing on the cake for making this map the most inedible difficulty sandwich. I don't like being overly negative about zombies maps because each one has something to enjoy about it. So what is there to like about this map? Well, for starters, the monkeys on this map are not a nightmare to deal with, and in fact help the player out more times than they don't. If you don't know, the monkeys on this map will steal power-ups if they are left alone for too long, but they don't just take them away. The power-up will rotate between all the power-ups on this map. So if you are skilled enough, you can always make a carpenter a max ammo, or a nuke an insta-kill. And if you are really good, you can even get a free perk bottle. Another thing that this map does very well is the scenery and colors. Out of all the zombies maps pre-Black Ops 3, this map by far has the most colors. That's right, we upgraded from gray and white blobs to green and orange blobs. In all seriousness though, this map is very pretty, especially the Eclipse mode, which is for the Easter egg, but I must mention how beautiful it looks. Speaking of Easter egg, this map has one. That's all I'm gonna say. This map also has a variant of the Claymore called the Spikemore, which is pretty funny, I guess. Geez, I'm really scraping the bottom of the barrel for compliments on this one. So everything past here is going to be negative, but I don't want you guys automatically assuming this map is trash, because it isn't. It's still an alright map, but the flaws are just way more noticeable and prevalent than the positives. What was that quote again? I don't know, something about it being trash but good. Yes, this map has an Easter egg. And yes, it requires 4 people. And unfortunately, I cannot say anything else about this egg. I personally have never done this Easter egg for this reason alone. So I have no grounds to say whether it's good or bad. I know I'm really letting you guys down with this one, but it's true. I guess I'll go and join all the other rejects. So what else can I say about this map that isn't Easter egg related? Well, for starters, the Wonder Weapon, although awesome, is garbage. It sucks. It's terrible. It is truly baffling how you make a gun that is dubbed the Baby Maker bad. It really boggles the mind. All you need to do is make one small change to where the baby zombies cannot hurt you, and bam, it is now a top 10 Wonder Weapon of all time. The last thing I'm going to mention is the fact that this map is half small corridor and half open area that has some dumb shit preventing you from running. To me, this is unacceptable. If there are just 2 places, I could deal with it. That is something I can live with, but no. They decided to add these goddamn spike walls for no fucking reason. Shangri-La is just a series of unexplainable occurrences, and it's getting a 5 out of 10 and it's going straight into C tier. Before I talk about Moon, I want to quickly say why I'm not ranking the Black Ops 1 remakes of the World at War maps, but I am ranking the Black Ops 3 remakes. And, well, I just don't feel like Black Ops 1 changed them enough to warrant their own rankings. Yes, they are significantly less jank and not nearly as buggy, but they played the exact same way with no differences other than the guns. On the other hand, Black Ops 3 has gobblegums. While yes, they are optional, does provide a unique gameplay experience if you use them, like being able to have pack-a-punch guns on maps that don't even have pack-a-punch, or being able to buy more than 4 perks. It also has the Wonder Fizz machines to boot, so that's just an extra thing on top of that. The Black Ops 1 remakes also would be ranking the exact same as the originals for me anyways, so if they're going to be ranked the same, there's not really a point in ranking them at all. Now, on to... Moon is the most disappointing map since this shit came out. Moon, by all means, should be a top 5 map. But for every positive thing I have to say about this map, there's a little asterisk next to it. And I want to say that the Easter egg is incredible and has a very satisfying ending, but every step of the Easter egg is based purely around box luck. I want to say that the excavators are implemented well and offer some intense situations, but because of them, it is possible to be permanently stuck in spawn. I can go all day like this, but I'm going to try to keep my emotions in check. Firstly, let's start off with everything positive I have to say about this map. Area 51 is an amazing idea and one of the few things that I cannot find a flaw in for this map. The idea of dangling Pack-a-Punch right in front of us is very cruel, but with enough skill, you can get enough points to Pack-a-Punch before even going to the main portion of the map. Love it or hate it, you cannot deny that the Cosmonaut Zombie is a good feature for this map. He obviously doesn't hit the same note as George Romero, but I don't think that is what Treyarch was going for anyways. Also, his mechanic where if you get too close to him, he will steal a perk from you is absolutely genius and a great way to make him a constant threat since his health pool is pretty small. Unfortunately for this map, that is where the praise ends, because everything else I have to say is both good and bad. I don't believe there is anything on this map that is definitively bad, except for the fact that since it is on Xbox 360, the landscape is just gray. Everything is gray. But that applies to almost every single zombies map pre-Black Ops 3, so I'm not going to hold anything against it too much. I guess there's no better place to start with the meh section than with the excavators. Like I said before, they offer some intense situations where you're trying to keep them from breaching an area, forcing you to use a PES, but if you can't get to it in time and are in spawn area, it's possible to be stuck there, so I can't really call it a good mechanic. The hacker device is almost perfect, but since it spawns in 10 different places, it can feel like more trouble to get than it's worth, especially since it replaces the PES in your inventory. The QED's random effects are pretty funny and offer for some great trolling opportunity, but it also takes the same spot up as a Gersh device, and Gersh devices are infinitely more useful than QEDs. On top of only being able to have one of them at a time, you need both for the Easter egg at multiple points as well. The sound mixing on this map makes sense when you have the PES, but it also makes playing this map not fun at all since you can't hear jack shit. The Easter egg is truly a spectacle, and I will not downplay how cool everything for this Easter egg is, but the one issue I have with it is that A, you need 2 or more people to do it on Black Ops 1, and 2, this Easter egg has the most RNG built into it out of any map to this date. Let me just tell you everything you need to complete this Easter egg. At some point, you need to get the wave gun, which is the wonder weapon of the map. First, you need Gersh device, then switch them out for QEDs. Next, get the Gersh device again. Finally, you have to get, wait for it, QEDs! Whoa! Who would have guessed it? Not me! Moon is like your child. You obviously love your child, but sometimes you feel like taking them out back and... It is ridiculous how lucky you must be to get all this shit in a single game. And that isn't even mentioning the fact that you need a specific excavator to start up, which could take until round 27, or more in some cases. Altogether, the amount of RNG in this map is completely inexcusable. You know what? Fuck it. I need to take a break. I'm fucking walking away. I'm going to Dairy Queen. I'm getting a snack. Okay, I'm back. I got myself a blizzard. I'm calm, and I'm ready to get back to this review. The last thing I'll mention about this map is Samantha. We finally see her on this map, and not only do we see her for the first time, but we also play as her. Towards the end of the Easter egg, Richtofen trades bodies with Samantha, narrowly escaping Chris Hansen's camera crew, becoming our new announcer. We then decide, wait for it, to blow up the Earth.
Train go boom.
You know, we wouldn't want Richtofen to do anything too drastic now, would we? The excitement this moment brought to an entire community is only replicated a single other time in Zombies. and I will stand by that statement until my death. I'm going to stop there, or else this video will be even longer than it already is, but Moon is getting a 6 out of 10 wasted potential and is going into B tier. Thanks again for continuing to watch this series and being patient with the uploads. Next video is going to be quite the doozy, since most of these maps I haven't played since Black Ops 4 came out. So it'll be interesting to see if the maps play differently than how I remember. I also have some opinions that will make most people really mad, so that'll be fun to see as well. Once again, thank you for watching this video all the way through, and I'll see you in the next video.